Hello, guys. My name is Michael.
And my name is Michele.
And we want to welcome you to the M&M Show.
So this episode is all about from getting married in just 3 weeks
to staying married for 21 years.
Stay tuned.
March 6th, 21 years. You're still beautiful.
Mwah. Thank you.
It was awesome to, we went to Africa. We went to Africa. South Africa. And, you know, I'm the darkest guy in on the continent wherever I go, but not this time. I found some brothers that were darker than me. It was awesome. One brother, he's like, you are at home. It was so cool to go to Africa, babe. I know that's kind of like,
my first time.
Yes, your first time. But even when we first got married or before we even got married, you talked about wanting to go to Africa. That was like one of your lifelong dreams.
Yes,
wasn't
it was. Yeah. I'd always wanted to go to Africa. Actually, when I was little, I used to see World Vision advertisements about all the starving children. So I really wanted to be a doctor, and I thought it would be really noble to go to Africa and help those kids.
Yeah.
But being in the kingdom has been amazing because Patrick and Andrew, shout out to them.
Boom.
And the DC Church and the Lagos Church and the Joburg Church. And the Africanus World Sector who allowed us to come to their Africanus Leadership Conference.
Blessed us.
Joburg, and blessed us with basically our flights and and we stayed in a beautiful hotel down there, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was my spiritual birthday and my wedding anniversary all in a week. So what a treat. God blessed us.
Yeah, I think when you think about it, I think the thing that is so encouraging is our purpose, our mission. The fact that here we're going down to Africa, we're celebrating our mission has been so important. We even actually we had to stop and think, wait a minute, it's our anniversary.
Right.
And
that's so true.
They were like, hey, you guys are doing the work over there in London and you want to encourage us over here. And don't you guys, why don't you come on over here instead of just having Zoom calls? So it was really great to go to Africa, to see the people, to encourage the people, to spend our anniversary,
21st anniversary in 06.
Serving God's people. And literally going down and seeing God move. And even for me as a young person, I wanted to. We used to serve UNICEF. We'd go door to door and collect money for UNICEF.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was a bit emotional being back there, or being in Africa for the very first time.
Second time for you, right?
Second time for me in Africa, but first time in South Africa. And it was a bike ride. We had a little bike ride on the river.
Yeah. But I it's true. I think we actually didn't even remember, in a sense, that it was our wedding anniversary because it's kind of like our marriage is our mission. So it's just amazing when God is in your life, as the center of your life. Just everything is just about pleasing Him. So
yeah, and it's almost like the Bible is always it talks about women being in submission, but I always tell people submission. I mean, it's not like she's just submitting to me, so we just sit around and look at each other forever. No, we have a mission. There's something that we want to do with our marriage that's greater than just
the
us.
Marriage.
Than greater than marriage. We want to influence people. We want to encourage people. We want to serve people.
Well, I think marriage is all about two are better than one. So I think God uses marriage to really advance the kingdom because there is that male-female aspect to the marriage. And two are better than one. I think it says, when one falls down, the other one can pick him up.
Yeah.
So again, there's that friendship. There's also that protection. There's the male-female thing going on. So it's really amazing to do it God's way. And I think because of God's mission and His purpose in our life, I think that has been the biggest key to 21 years.
21 years. Celebrating it, serving.
Yeah.
Most people go celebrate, just sit around like each other. We celebrated it serving, and it was awesome. I think the serving was what made it so fun. Just being able to see the individuals, encourage other people, tell them how we've done it, how we've been together for 21 years, how we just keep laughing at each other and having fun and just going and doing God's work, teaching individuals, reaching out. We went to we went to Mandela. I went to Mandela's house, Nelson Mandela's house. I mean, I grew up going, wow, I want to be so much
hero.
Yeah.
And not a world hero.
World hero.
Yeah.
And It was moving. I mean, when we got to Henry Peterson, we went to Henry Peterson Museum. Henry Peterson is one of the young kids that started the Soweto uprising. That said, I mean, because what happened is in South Africa, you had obviously the apartheid, the whole issue. And the kids were like, listen, we want to learn how to speak in our own language. We don't want to be speaking.
They wanted to change the curriculum and
Yeah.
make all of the country speak Afrikaans.
Yeah. And the kids,
they were like,
Yeah.
we were already struggling learning all of the subjects
Right.
in English, and to have to learn on top of the Afrikaans.
yeah, it was
too
difficult.
much.
And it was moving for me because it was like,
So it was a peaceful, actually, rally, wasn't it?
well, yeah, it was a peaceful rally, but I mean, it ended with
Very
tragedy.
bloody. Yeah.
Very bloody. People were killed. This kid, Henry Peterson, gets killed. They're just, and it just made me, it actually validated what we do, that movements are started by young people. As Jesus walked with young people, the apostles were all under the age of 20, except Peter, and they wanted to change the world. The Bible says they turned the world upside down. And here you had young people trying to change the world, in a sense, saying, hey, we're going to put our foot out on you. For me, it was like, where are the parents? You know what I mean? Like, how come the parents aren't supporting?
Well, maybe they were. We don't know if the parents were with them, but maybe it was just the school kids trying to do I can see good-heartedly school kids going, yeah, let's protest. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of students, and we went to the museum. Some of the parents were, they didn't have the faith that the kids did. Actually, some of them. And so just being able to go to that museum and seeing those kids who died for, dare we say, the freedom to really have higher education there. Just the power of our purpose taking us all around the world. I would have never been in South Africa if it wasn't for the purposes of God. And I think that's one of the things that's kept us together is the fact that we're trying to influence the entire world for God. I don't know, a lot of relationships, it's like, hey, we have this in common, we have that in common, and those things are cool, but there's nothing more powerful than having a global purpose.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of the movement, because you can love God all you want, but if you're not part of a global movement, you're not going to have these opportunities to go to different churches in all of these amazing countries. I mean, we've been to India, Manila.
World evangelism is awesome.
The only place I think we haven't been yet is Hong Kong. I mean, we went through Hong Kong, but we've never been to China. So that's the last frontier for us as the M&M show.
Yes.
We'll get to China one day.
Yeah, but we're there. And at South Africa, they've got one of the 7 wonders of the world. They got Table Mountain. We went to Table Mountain.
Cape
Table
Town.
Mountain, crazy. Table Mountain. This thing is 600 million years. I think they say, they estimate that it's 600 million years old. We know what the Bible says about how old the world is. But either case, the mountain is the oldest. It's literally like one of the oldest mountains in the entire world. And it's thought to be literally one of a couple that are the oldest. And it's older than the Alps, it's older than the Rockies, older than the Himalayas. And of course, it is in Africa. So it all goes back to Africa. I thought it was incredible being there. I thought the food was awesome.
It was incredible.
People
are super, super awesome.
The love, the kindness, the music. I think the music, the spirit of God through the music, the choirs that sing on the streets. I just cried. I worshiped with them. I sang with them. Completely changed my idea of the narrative that the media portrays as Africans as only these kind of individuals that are disenfranchised and a lot of violence and anger and distress. And we understand that is happening all over. And there are parts of Africa that happens, but we got a chance to see the glory of people singing and worshiping and loving each other and being very, 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 very inspiring. Changed my whole perspective of Africa.
Yeah, my perception of Africa was very different. I think Andrew laughed at me because he said going to Joburg was a soft landing into Africa. And I'm sure it was, because it's a very modern city. And where we were staying was very, very safe. So it just felt like London a little bit. But obviously the undercurrents in Africa and in South Africa especially are hard to see as a tourist. So I don't want to minimize that there's a lot going down in South Africa, but we definitely didn't get to experience that on on a deep level. But as far as the people, I just fell in love. I know we went to the airport and we both were just saying, how can we give back to Africa? They're just so heartsy, the people, and the South Africans are extremely open about their lives. And one woman that we met who actually was fundraising for malaria, she told me that she had lost 2 family members, a sister and a brother, her closest family members, to murders. And it's very common there. People just kill each other if there's bad attitudes. And her sister was murdered because there was some bad attitudes going down in a friendship group. And because there were some friends at the house, they got killed too. So there would be no witnesses. And, I started crying when she told me that. And it was just there's a lot there. So my deepest respect to countries where that level of violence and unsafety is a daily thing. But yeah, I'm now, I say I'm Mama Llama, but now I'm a auntie. I'm a llama for Africa. I'm adopting Africa as my own.
Yeah, we came back going, it changed me internally and spiritually.
Yeah.
Seeing the people, seeing the struggle. And it made me want to not only roll up my sleeves and get involved and find out how we can really inspire, and but also to call attention to the great work of our brothers and sisters, Andrew and Patrick, what they've done in Africa. And they've gone there and really laid their lives down to serve God's people.
Yes.
And to see the singing had me in tears. I mean, I've never been to a continent where I walk on and I feel just landing in Africa. It's always like something changed as soon as I got off the plane. And when I heard those songs in the African language, I couldn't, it just gets me emotional now. I video recorded them and I saw them singing, not just from their voices, but deeply from their heart. There was a level of pain. There was a level of struggle. There was a level of faith that the songs were sang with that cannot be manufactured. You can't learn it in Royal Albert Hall. You can't be taught how to hit the runs in America. None of that. These are real songs that I'm not downplaying the struggle in any other part of the world. But when I saw those African brothers and sisters,
yes,
all I can say is you guys are better than us. You're special. What can I do to help? What can I do to support?
Yeah.
How can I'm coming back. I'm bringing more people. It changed me.
Yeah.
And what a great way to celebrate your anniversary, to go and go with the heart to minister, but to be ministered to.
Totally.
As much as we called ourselves going over there to serve Africa, as it has been forever, it served us.
Yeah.
And it made me go into deep depth of the Christian heritage that Africa has. And sadly, we love to point out where racism is nowadays. That's a big thing. Racism is a great commodity to sell. You can use it for your political agenda nowadays. But when you actually start looking at things that are just unfair, as a theologian, as a preacher, as a teacher, we always quote historians about God and historians about Christianity. And one of the historians, several of let me just put it this way, in short, several of the Christian historians, you go online right now and you YouTube them, and you can hear all and see all their historical information that validates God, validates the Bible, validates Christianity, and it shows a white European person there. But these were Africans. And sadly, I came back going, wow, that's kind of not cool. Like, no respect is given to Africa. The Africans, Europeans didn't bring Christianity to Africa. They did in 1000, but Christianity was there 1,000 years before they got there. They were just coming back and re-preaching something that's already been preached. And it gave me a deeper respect for how God has used the continent of Africa to really influence the world for God. And so I knew that getting off that plane, now it made sense. Like, this is God's land.
Right.
This is God wanted me to have that. I'm not saying you don't have it a lot of other places, but I've never felt emotionally and spiritually moved like going to Africa, breathing the air, touching the elephants.
There's definitely a soul. There's a soul there that It was very beautiful. But we're actually able to meet some sensational singles there
Sensational.
that have really, many of them come from first world countries and have just sold everything and dedicated their life work to being missionaries there. And I think that to me was just, I wish we had the film team because we met Nick Wynn. And then there was
Nick is winning.
Nick is winning. He got appointed as an evangelist. So brothers,
the winning soul got appointed as an evangelist.
Single brothers and sisters. I think he's in his late 40s.
He doesn't look like it.
And he's doing CrossFit.
He's CrossFit. Remember that episode?
And he just got appointed, and he's now in the church in Zambia.
Yeah, he's in Zambia. He's doing Zambia.
And shout out to Christine Alamu as well. She's doing great work. I don't know if things have been announced yet, so I'm not going to say it. But Christine, who I actually personally met and studied the Bible with, she was working and leading a working single. So she's a teacher, PE teacher. She was working at a high school in Birmingham, as well as leading their church with Frank Similani, who is now married. And they were both two sensational singles that were leading the church in Birmingham. And now, and then I talked to her. I said, "You need to go back. You need to have a dream, sis. You need to go to Africa." She goes, "I'm British born. I don't know. Why are you telling me to go to Africa?" And I said, "I don't know, sis. I think it's going to be good for you. You need a dream and you need a challenge."
And all singles, you need a dream.
She had kind of gotten to a plateau.
Stop making dating your dream. Women don't want to be the adventure. They want to be on an adventure.
Yeah.
This inspires, what you're saying.
Yeah.
The reason we're bringing this part up is because this is how we got together. It's like, wow, what can we do?
It's our philosophy. It's what we preach. It's what the M&M show is about. It's about, just putting God first and loving life, living life to the full as a single. And God will choose you for you. So Christine was in her late 30s, gave up her job, packed her bags, literally two suitcases, and went to Ghana, right? Ghana with the Sardokis. And she's there now just doing a great job, and she's loving it. So it's hard. It's very hard. And then we met Tina, 14 years single. We'd love to interview her as well.
Exactly. And she met her boyfriend who was met here, and then he was over there. He went over there, and then they got together. But
yeah, he studied the Bible and got baptized in Joburg, and now they're married and dating, and they're back in DC. But she was also a missionary, American. So I just love that we have opportunities to be disciples and all over the world and
live life to the full. I guess our 21 years, how do we encapsulate it? We celebrated our 21 years by giving and doing our purpose, by standing on top of the hotel and praying at the bottom of the world for the world and crying for Africa, crying for all the nations. And we also had a nice dinner. And Michele looked really pretty right there. It was awesome right there. She was, and she had a little tan right there down in Africa. It was, it just was amazing going, wow, this is what it means to live life to the full. I think as disciples, as Christians, we understand the persecution, the struggles, and the ups and the downs. Got it. We got that drill. We know that. I'm writing a book on it. But there's also a great joy to be had at doing the work. There's a joy. There's a beauty in celebrating your 21 years together by serving God.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a capstone moment to have our anniversary in Africa where we could minister to the people. We got sent there to preach and teach the men and women. And to be able to do that is such a privilege. It was a great privilege. So
and we want to give a shout out to the South Africans. For those of you that wrote to us, those of you that encouraged us, those from DC, from all around that were so kind.
The Africanus World Sector.
The Africanus World Sector. Thank you, God. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, babe, for the 21 years.
For sure.
Of really being together, doing God's work together, just being great friends, being besties. The ups and the downs together, the tears together, the joy. She laughs at me all the time. We're going to talk about that on the next episode right there. But we celebrated in Africa, and it was awesome. And we're coming back. We gave to Africa, but really Africa gave to us. This is
got one.